Republic, his champion there, with a flash pair of boots. So let's hope that Stecca keeps his eyes on the opponent and not the boots in the opening round then. And it's good to see Christodoulou back, because the WBA and WBC haven't been giving him much officiating these days over the political problems, and he's one of the best in the business. So look out for that left jab from the Italian. He really is good at that, and although he's had one or two easy ones on the way up, you don't win a gold medal without knowing your business. And I saw these two box in Los Angeles, and that was a good contest over 3 rounds, but of course the pro stuff's very much different, and you've got to hang on to the stamina. But he's got one of the best left jabs in the business, Stecca. And the Britons haven't done too well against him either. Pete and John Feeney, John Maloney, Rocky Lawler, Nigel Haddock, all on Italian soil, but I think maybe he could even do that over here. Well, whether Nolasco has really got what it takes to be a challenger for this new World Boxing Organization, the breakaway organization from the WBA, we don't really know, except that his amateur record was good, as Stecca's manager Branchini has pointed out. I think maybe a taste of things to come there, Jim.
Yeah, well, he can't be too comfortable. He's already lost to Stecca, and boxing away from home. Stecca, I would say, has improved far beyond Nolasco. It's a tough match for Nolasco, but the longer distance, who knows, may suit Nolasco better than Stecca. We'll have to wait and see.
Stecca's certainly good enough to go in with the other featherweight champions, the Esparragosa, WBA, Jeff Fennick of Australia. What a punch-up that would be. And Jorge Paez is our IBF. So we've, at the moment, I think, got more Chiefs than Indians in the fight game. Got a very British style, really, Stecca. He hasn't got that sort of flailing arms held high continental style we used to call them, Jim.
Yeah, well, he stands up nice and tall, and he makes full use of the excellent jab you were speaking of. Yeah, good counter punching left hook from Nasco. Yeah, Nasco looking a little bit dangerous.
As I say, he was brought in very much as an underdog and wondered if he was good enough, but he's done well enough in the opening round. As they say, the promoters, he's come to fight this fella, and he'll need to with Stecca. Well, he was in there, Christodoulou. He made sure there was no punches after the bell. I don't think the crowd would have minded that, a little bit of after-time stuff. And he's nicked around the right eye. Look at that, right at the end of the first round there. That's a bad sign for Nolasco. No use looking at it. They've got to get on and try and stop it. They're just dabbing the towel on it won't be much good. Jim, in replay.
Yeah, well, I would say Stecca's punching was a little bit sharper than Nolasco's. A good round, but that was the good counter punching left hook Stecca's going to have to look out for.
Seconds out.
Yeah. A bit early for the ice packs after only 3 minutes, and that's it. The adrenaline pad on it at last. Round 2. And you hear that from Christodoulou, quite right. I'm not sure that the Dominican Republic will understand the Cypriot Greek from South Africa saying got to move on.
Right, step back. Watch it.
He's really accurate with that jab, Jimmy. He's not only a point scorer, he makes it hurt too. It softens the opponent up.
Yeah, he's getting his shoulder behind the jab. He's a stand-up boxer, but Stecca keeps his chin nice and low out of harm's way. Yeah, he's really turning into an excellent professional.
Defeated Ireland's Phil Sutcliffe in the Olympic Games as well, Stecca. Almost broke the American monopoly of winning so many medals in Los Angeles. As you say, he's doing a very competent, professional job here. He's got some armory. He can switch punches. He just doesn't rely on that jab once he's found the range. Good defense, Jim. He's hard to get to, isn't he?
Yeah, and by comparison, Nolasco is just a little bit ragged. He's coming in with a loose defence, and Stecca's taking full advantage. I think Nasco was trying to knock Stecca out of his rhythm, and maybe he has to take a few chances in order to do that. But he's just a little bit ragged, Stecca a bit more compact.
Digging into the ribs a bit, Nolasco there. At least Stecca didn't complain. Some of them were a bit borderline. What a good close quarter battle now. That'll suit Nolasco, but it also may worsen the cuts, Jim, with the bumping of heads like we see there.
Yeah, well, it's terrible news for Nasco. I see him rubbing his eyebrow there. I wonder if he's cut again or if he's just complaining about a bang.
Oh, he can stand and trade as well, Stecca. You have to be impressed with him. He's worthy of certainly of a championship fight, if not being the champion. And with one of the other 4 so-called ruling bodies these days, he's certainly good enough to challenge for any of those. And if he wins this one, at least we might get some unifications going. Well, a little tap after the bell, but nobody seemed to worry about that, including the referee. So round 3, and the Nasco looking quite banged up really there. It started to work again on the cuts on the eyes, and it's got a tough job to last 12 rounds, and already Stecca really more or less stamped his authority on this contest. And I wouldn't think Jim is necessarily just a home fighter, and the Olympic Games proves that.
Well, he has been well managed up to this point, but when we see him in action, he certainly can fight. He has a good chin, and Nasco produced some good work in the second round. He landed some quite solid punches. Stecca didn't flinch, he came firing back. Good defence, slips punches well, keeps his elbows nice and tight. He is quite a complete fighter. Quite impressed by him.
Certainly manager Branchini, who's been around in the fight trade for years. In fact, I think he had Baruni, who fought your man Walter McGowan for the championship. He needn't nursemaid this fellow any longer, because you could take a few risks with Stecca and he could come up for you, Jim, although he and Fennick, what a war that would be.
Yeah, I don't think, provided he's successful here, they'll be thinking about Fennick too quickly. But certainly a good solid performer.
It was a question of judging him, of course, against the opposition, and on whether this fellow's really good enough or not. He's certainly brave enough. Midway then through the 3rd round. Tends to fight with his face a bit, Nolasco, Jim, doesn't he? I can see why he gets involved in cuts and wars.
Yeah, well, he's having to take chances, a little bit untidy now. He's having to take chances to try and knock Stecca out of his stride, and it's always been going against him. He's just a little bit too ragged. He's not compact enough. He's taking punches. He should have a little bit careless with his head there.
Signs of desperation there, and I think he understood the referee okay there with the signs. No matter about the language. And I tell you what, if he cuts Stecca like that, there could well be a riot. He had 2 wars against the present super featherweight champion of the IBF, Tony Lopez. Was stopped twice, Nolasco, but they really finished up well bruised, the pair of them. And he always had that little chat after the bell, and I hope that doesn't count on the judges' cards. He takes a few liberties there, Jim.
Yeah, well, that's almost the end of every round. He's managed an extra little punch.
No.
And they're having to work it again on the eyes there. They're a little bit slow getting at them, I would have thought. They need every second of the 60-second break. Jim?
Another good round from Stecca. Certainly the better work coming from him. He's really getting into the driving seat now. Nolasco's fighting back in spots, but little success.
Into the fourth. Desperation now with the Dominion Republic champion. Because Stecca very much the boss, and he's even been able to mix it. Perhaps not always well advised to do so, but I always like to see a good boxer who can stand and trade when he needs to. That's where you get the difference between the triers and the champions. Give Nasco credit though, Jim. He's not frightened of the crowd, is he, with those little digs after the bell?
No, and he certainly come to fight. He's put up a pretty fair show.
Keep your punches up, okay?
Well, that was pretty obvious. Now, as I say, apart from the language, I'm sure he understands that part of it anyway. Nasco, he's trying to get away, and I hate to see him get disqualified in a championship fight. But it has to be consistent fouling. He'd probably take a point away from him, Christodoulou, if it keeps up. Well, I think maybe Stecca can deal with him without worrying about the odd stray punches. There you are. He said he'd take away a point. I thought he would do. I've seen Christodoulou work many fights, and I kind of smell it when I know he's going to warn somebody like that and take the point away. He's giving it all he's got, Nasco, Jim, but you get the impression that he's saying, well, I'm going to do it all early on. If it doesn't happen, that's it.
Yeah, Stecca's always that little bit too sharp for him. Good left hook from Stecca. That was a good punch. He always seems to be that move ahead of Nasco, that little bit sharper.
It really is some war, this, isn't it? With Stecca always got the better of the armory, and the crowd loving him for it. He's very much a hero in Italy and deserves it. And he fires both hands when he decides to counterpunch Stecca, Jim. I'm impressed with that.
Yeah, he likes to move around, a very slick mover, but when he has to stand his ground, he can do it and start driving his opponent back. He can do a little bit of everything. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of Stecca.
Just stealing a little breather there, you see, Stecca. He's trying to almost toy with this fellow now because he can't miss him with a punch, but he's game enough. He keeps marching on, fighting with his face, as I said. And again, oh, well, at that time, they managed to get a little armistice at the bell. Crowd absolutely loving it in Milan, and now he's... And there it is. He's got to tell him the points are coming away, and he's making sure the manager's understood that. And this is Stecca with Branchini in the corner. In replay again, Jim.
Yeah, another sharp round from Stecca. He's never managed to hurt Nolasco or discourage him at all, but you see there's the heads banging together again there.
And from the overhead camera as well there, the one from the roof, as they say, really catches the action there. And he catches the punches. Round 5 of the scheduled 12-rounder for the new WBO featherweight championship. They They both come just inside the 9-stone mark, although they weigh in kilos, of course, in Italy. So judges obviously got Stecca, well, I would have thought practically every round, Jim, now.
Yeah, he hasn't lost a round. Nolasco's never given up trying all the way through, but he's taken too many punches to get inside, and it hasn't really been landing enough clean punches to keep himself in the fight. But it's still full of fire and full of ambition.
Okay, step back.
A little bit of a follow through with the forearm there. The crowd didn't mind that. That's a fair punch in Italy.
Break. Oh.
He keeps good control, Christodoulou, doesn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't get overly involved. It's been a good action-packed fight all the way through, but some of the rules have been broken. Nolasco's a little bit careless with his low punching, but the referee's handled it without spoiling it.
So once again then the crowd get to their feet the moment Stecca decides he's going to do the forward march bit, and he cleverly keeps the opponent at bay there while he's scoring. Doesn't want to risk anything. He's got it well under control and wants to keep it that way. And he's bleeding now around both eyes, Nolasco. A bit swollen as well. There it is. Stecca's done well to stay on march here, Jim, with the roughness going on.
Yeah, his own defensive work has been very good. He really has kept his chin out of harm's way. He turns his face away as Nasco comes in. He's really boxing very well.
Just a swelling around the left cheek there of Stecca, but well, that would only be considered a minor contusion in a fight like this. Desperation stakes all the way now by Nasco. He's trying everything. He's holding, hitting, and he's really now, well, almost toying with him now, Stecca. Brilliant exhibition, and Nasco simply made for it in style, isn't he?
Yeah, Stecca's really started to enjoy himself in this round. He's taken nothing in return, banging all the punches, hooks, uppercuts, jabs. Really the best round of the fight so far for Stecca.
And again, a little after bell action there, and the crowd loving it. Well, now, how are they going to get this fella? It's no use giving him the baby bottle at this stage, is it? I think he needs a bit more than that. There's the rundown there of Stecca. As I say, he's nice, mature at age 25 to get in championship fights. And he hasn't stopped all that many. 15, actually, I make it on the 34. Into the 6th round, with Pedro Nolasco really struggling now against the Italian. He and brother Loris really dominating their weights now. He's certainly the best featherweight that Italy have turned out in many years. In a way, it's sort of a cut-down Nino Benvenuti, who was the welterweight and middleweight champion at one time. A great fight with English Rivers. He was always around the ringsides here, and he works for Italian television. He's really doing a number on Nolasco now, Jim. I think he's sickening him as he goes along.
Yeah, well, Nolasco can't think of anything to combat what's coming his way. He can't get into punching range. Stecca far too slick, far too sleek. He's just moving out of harm's way, coming back with good solid counters. He's really beginning to do a job on Nolasco now.
Well, what do they consider this, a real championship, cardboard or whatever it is? As Harry Newbond says, you're getting up to nearly 70 champions you can find now around the world if the WBO really established themselves, and certainly a number of their members were very respected when they were with the WBA, including their secretary, former Chicago Bear Nick Karasotis.
Right. Hey.
Oh, trying to get the head, Jim, that That really is desperation stakes, and he's got to take a point away from him there. Yes, he is. He's calling out to the judges there, 1 point. Well, that makes him 1.5 miles behind Jim, doesn't it?
Yeah, that one was a little bit blatant. That wasn't even clever. I think, as you say, he's just desperate, just trying anything now to get a little edge over Stecca.
He's been a game, guys, giving it all he's got, Nolasco, rough as he is, but he now knows it's, well, he's just shipping too much punishment now. It's a question of how long, surely. Well controlled, though, Stecca. He's not allowing himself to get roughed up if he can help it. He can pick this fellow off as he wants. Really pecking him bloody there, isn't he? Nothing wrong with Nolasco. It's hard at this stage, but his face is beginning to look a bit of a mess. So countdown for the end of the 6th. And it looks as though Stecca can do it now. Is he running out of time or not? He's really got Nolasco floundering, trying to cover up, as if to say, what am I going to do? And he's going to offer his surrender in the 6th round. He's made it obvious that he wants no more of that, and you really can't blame him for that. He didn't fall over and take a count. He was simply sickened by those punches. The better man won, the cleaner puncher, the better boxer. And Maurizio Stecca is really going to be, well, an even bigger hero now in Italy. And he's made his mark on the world scene now, Jim.
Yeah, good performance. Nasco seemed to have some complaint earlier on in the round. He never quite got over. I don't know if it was a body blow or a good headshot, but plenty of heart, but just had nothing left.
That face of an old warrior. Nobody knows the troubles he's seen, and particularly in that fight. And Jim, there's the final bit.
Yeah, Stecca obviously right on top, taking nothing in return. Good solid punches all the way through. Not a single one-punch knockout specialist. Don't suppose he ever will be, but very accurate punches and a very good variety of punches.
And that's the point where he's saying, how much more am I supposed to take this? And he knows he's marked around the eyes like that, and that's it. Goodbye. I'd sooner be going home, and I don't blame him. So there it is, the first WBO belt by the new president of that organization. And this big fella looking pleased.